All right, on page 4 of your packet, you're going to write at the top standard 6.31. Okay? And this is the standard, the part that is circled. So write this standard down right now. Standard 6.31. Locate and describe the origins of Chinese civilization in the Huanghe River Valley during the era of the Shang Dynasty. First thing you need to take notes on that page is, first, after you have your standard, draw a line across underneath. And then we're going to, I'm going to open up a new flip chart here, and we're going to write down proofs, and I'm going to underline it, proofs of Huanghe River Valley civilization. Okay, so we're looking for proof. Proof it existed. Okay, all right, does anybody want to read the first paragraph here? Okay, Lexi, go for it.
Archaeologists have unearthed clay pots and cups in the Huanghe River Valley that date back thousands of years. These artifacts help to show that the Huanghe Valley was the birthplace of Chinese civilization. It was believed that people settled around the river due to the rich soil which was used for farming and growing crops. Also, they had easy access to the river which allowed them to travel and trade. Based on written records, the first dynasty in China was the Shang. Their kings ruled from about 1750 BC to 1045 BC.
Okay, let's do one thing really quickly before we take notes. Let's do a Throwback Friday. Okay, this right here says the kings ruled from 1750 to 1045 BC. One of the very first things we did when you guys joined me this year was a unit on time. Can you figure out or determine how many years those kings ruled? Now we're on the same BC, we're on the same side of the timeline. How many years, Grant?
605.
605. Colby?
705.
705. Sydney? 705. 705.
705.
Okay, so what do I have to do? I have to take 1750 and what?
Subtract.
Subtract 1045 from it. 705. All right, 705 BC or 705 years?
Years.
Years. Because I've asked how long span they ruled. So 705 years. All right, now, let's go back to our proof. We are looking for proof that there was a civilization in the Huanghe River Valley. So from what Lexi read to us, tell me one proof. Lexi?
That the clay pots and cups in the Huanghe River are artifacts to help show that the Huanghe
Okay.
was the
Archaeologists found these clay pots and cups, and they were artifacts that we found. Is that a proof? You've got something that you can hold your hand you found. Proof? Yes, Colby.
The agriculture of the land was well done where you could farm and stuff easily.
Okay, can you prove that there's rich, fertile soil there?
Yes.
Yes, but how can you prove the civilization was there by using that? I can go down here to the river and there's going to be rich soil, but does that mean a house or a civilization was there?
What if it's all farmed up? Like I'm thinking like
Okay, if you found artifacts there, yes, right? Okay, Sydney.
It says that they were used for farming and growing crops.
They were used for farming and growing
So
crops.
does that mean that they have used it?
Okay, they have used it. They used that region to farm and grow crops. Okay? I'm looking for something else that I can see. It's in one of these two paragraphs. Written records. There's our big proof. Written records are a big one, right? So we're going to write down under proofs that they found artifacts. And what were those artifacts? Clay,
Clay pots.
pots and cups. And they also found
Written records.
written records. So we know that's proof. So if I go out here in the front yard of the school and I say, I know there was a home there that was built during the Civil War, and you say, are you kidding me? In the front yard of the school there's no home there. How am I going to prove that to you?
Artifacts.
Artifacts. I might find what the materials were that the home was built out of. I might find the cups. I might find the plates. I might find, what else might I find? Might I find jewelry?
Yeah.
Maybe. Might find jewelry, right? So I'm going to find artifacts to prove to you that that house was there. Okay? Now, let's go to the next slide.
I have a question.
Yes, dear.
Like, I know we went to, like, I can't remember, but it's by Tulsa College, and it said that a long time ago they could find people's teeth. Did you say that too?
Anything that you find that would prove that there was people there that had civilization and they stayed there, then you would be able to say, there's been somebody here before. And if you find plates and cups and materials that they used in their homes, then you could say they lived there, right? Okay. Who wants to read the next paragraph? Okay, I got two hands up. Tate, can you see it from back there?
I think so.
You can move up if you need to. Okay, read this paragraph.
Okay.
The Shang Dynasty.
The Shang dynasty was the first to build cities in China. Their capital city was Anyang. A palace and temple stood at the center of the city. Public buildings and home of government officials circled the central area. Workshops and homes then surrounded this. Archaeologists have found buried walls and buildings to support the fact that the Shang dynasty and its capital city really existed.
Okay, proof in this paragraph. Lexi.
Buried walls and buildings.
Buried walls and buildings. Whoa, sorry about that. I hate it when I do that. Buried walls and buildings. Any other proofs? What is it, Walker?
Public building and home of a government official.
Okay, so those buried walls and buildings could have been public buildings and homes. What else could they have been? Lexi?
Workshops and homes.
Okay, they could have been workshops and homes. What else could they have had? You've got public buildings and homes, workshops and homes.
Capital city.
Okay, so they think they have found the capital city, right? Of Anyang. I always pronounce that wrong.
I just said
Anyang.
palace or
Okay. What else, Sydney?
palace or temple.
Palace and temple. Whoa, that was not pretty. There we go. Okay, palace and temple. So I'm only going to write down one thing that I know they said they found for sure. What was it?
Buried walls and buildings.
Buried walls and buildings. So I'm going to go back to my page that says proof and leave you a little bit of space here under written records, okay? Because we're going to do something with that one. So buried walls and cities. Is that what it said? Buried walls and cities? Buildings. Sorry, my bad. Buried walls and buildings.
Leave a little space there.
Leave a little space under written records.
So how many lines up to?
Yeah. Okay, now, have you got some room at the bottom of your page there?
Yeah.
Leave you a little bit more space, and I want you to draw a box. Okay? I want you to draw a box down there on your paper. Because we're going to do, in a minute, we're going to do a layout plan of the Shang Dynasty.
Is this box at the bottom?
Uh-huh. So go ahead and put the box down there, and then write Shang Dynasty layout plan. And we're going to come back to that one in a minute. Okay? Yes, dear. Good. Good deal. Okay, so we're coming back to this one in just a minute. All right, let's move on. 2 important events. Who wants to read this paragraph? Colby, you want to read one? You had your hand up. Come on.
Which one?
This one. 2 important events.
2 important events mark the period of the Shang Dynasty. First, the development of writing system, as revealed by inscriptions found on tortoise shells and oracle bones, and 2, the use of bronze metallurgy.
Okay, so 2 important events mark the period of the Shang Dynasty. I wanted you to save room under written records here because it just told us where they found their writing. Okay, so where was one place? On tortoise shells. You know what a tortoise is, don't you? It is a turtle. Okay, so tortoise shells. All right, what about oracle? Okay, oracle bones. Does anybody know what an oracle is?
Isn't that like a future seer kind of thing?
Like a what?
A future seer kind of thing?
Okay, you're exactly right. Okay, if anybody ever watched that movie, it's an older movie called The Matrix. There was an oracle in it. The oracle was in it. Percy Jackson had an oracle. All right, so what you would do is you would go to an oracle and you would ask them if they could tell you pretty much your future. So, for example, if I lived in the Huanghe River Valley, if the river had been really low that year and my crops had not gotten much water supply, I might go to them and say, you know, my crops that I grow are what feed my family, and I'm afraid I'm not going to have enough crops for the year. Then the oracle would say, so what do you need to know? They'd say, well, I need to know if I'm going to have enough crops to feed my family for the rest of the year. So the oracle is going to take a bone, probably of an animal, and he's going to write your question on that bone. Then they throw the bone in the fire, and they let it burn for a little while. They take the bone back out, and by this time the bone has cracked, and they read the cracks in the bone to say, oh, I think you're going to have a good year. Or, oh, you might need to find somebody else to give you some rice or grain. So they read the cracks in the bone to tell you your fortune or your future. Okay, so that's an oracle bone. Now let me show you what they look like. Okay, this is the tortoise shell. Nope, that's not. This is the tortoise shell writing. Okay, and I'll erase these lines so you can see it better. Okay? That's what it looked like at the written records they found on tortoise shells. How many of you had ever thought, I think I'll take this tortoise shell, this turtle shell that I found, and write a love letter to my girlfriend and send it to her? Girls, how many of you just think that's just the most romantic thing you've ever heard? Oh, hey.
Thanks for my turtle.
And it's not like
And the shell still
turtle
has the
shell.
spine.
I like turtles.
Man, it kind of stinks.
I like
The
that.
turtle shell has
Okay.
spines.
So that's the tortoise shells. Okay, here's the oracle bone.
Did this actually work? Like, I'm gonna try
What do
this.
you think?
Like, I'm gonna write on the
Well,
bone.
probably they just
So you're gonna have to
no.
Okay. All right, so this oracle bone does not look to me like it's been thrown in the fire yet because it's not cracked up like they would crack. But you can see the writing. Do you see it?
Yeah.
It's the same type of writing that's on the tortoise shell. That's lovely. Okay?
Oh,
So we've got the same type of writing on the tortoise shell as we do the oracle bone.
Love.
Of course. Okay, here we go. All right, so the question is now, where was this dynasty located? Well, we know it was around the what river valley? The Huanghe or the Yellow River Valley. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, according to the map, the Shang Dynasty is located. Okay, from the looks of this map here, where would you say east coast or west?
East.
East, okay? And you could say that it definitely encircled the what river? The Huanghe River, okay? So you need your map. Now you need your map. Okay? Now, on your map, and you're going to have to pay close attention to this because this has been a little bit difficult this morning. Okay? On your map, there should be, well, we're going to mark where the dynasty was, but on your table also, there should be a pencil, a coloring pencil, that is a different color than what you've used. Now, if there's not one, you can get one. They're right there. Okay, but you need a different color, something you have not used yet. All right, I want you to find where the mouth of the river is for the Yellow River. Okay, it's right here. It's below, I think that's Beijing, the capital. It's at the Pacific Ocean. It's right here. Okay, find the mouth of the Yellow River and draw a dot there. Now just watch what I'm doing. You're not going to draw or you're not going to follow the river. Okay, you're not going to mark the river up. But I'm following the river. I'm going southbound, a little bit north, south again, and back up north. Well, do you see where it starts to curve up here? Just before I get to that, I'm going to draw another dot right here. Okay?
Or do that with this.
You can use your pencil or the colored pencil, either one. Whichever one you want. Okay, now, if I'm not mistaken too, there's a little box right in there that's on your map. I think it's like right about here. Isn't that right?
No, it's a little bit lower.
Is it a little bit lower? Okay, well, your dot is just above it then. Okay, then we have the box that's around China. Okay? So we're going to put a dot at the top right-hand corner of that box.
So we're drawing a line on the Yangtze River?
No, you're putting a dot at the corner of this box that says China.
Okay.
It's in between the two rivers. All right, now go find Shanghai. You see it? It already has a dot. Put a dot there. Just bold that dot in. Okay. I can't tell on my map. Is Shanghai just a little bit below the river?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, just put a dot right there. Okay, I'm going to follow what I think is called, and I butcher these words, I know I do, some of them anyways, the Yangtze River. Okay, I'm going to follow that river down, and when I start going southbound and get to that curve, I'm going to put a dot there. Not on the river, below it. Then I'm going to start back up north, and I'm going to get to that next curve. And I'm going to put a dot right below it. Okay? Then I'm heading back down south, and I'm going to get where it curves again, and I'm going to add another dot.
No big surprises.
Then I'm going back up north, and when it starts to curve and make a really big dip south, I'm going to put a dot there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots. Connect the dots.
With the colored pencil or just...
Whichever one you want. Okay, connect the dots. Then you're going to take that new color that you have, and you're going to shade this area in. Even this little tip up here. Alright, so shade inside where you connected the dots. That is where they believe the Shang dynasty existed. So you have to add that to your map key now. So I drew a box, I'm coloring it in, and I'm going to label it Shang dynasty. Okay, now, they say they found those artifacts somewhere around the river. So right around the Yellow River, I'm just going to make little dots. Now I'm sure that they found artifacts in other areas close to the river as well, because there had to be artifacts found in the dynasty. Alright, so then I'm going to make little dots down here, and I'm going to say artifacts found in the river valley, Shang dynasty. Now here's what some people pointed out this morning. They said, Miss Wills, the Great Wall of China is dotted like that. Yes, it is, but you colored it red. This is dotted, and it's inside your Shang dynasty. That's why I wrote this. Okay, so get that done, and then mark this on your map key.
I got a room on my map now.
All right, so now we have our map and our map key revised a little bit. So we're going back to our slide. So now we see on this map where the Shang Dynasty is located, but I'm going to show you a bigger map. Okay, this is all the dynasties, with the exception of the one that they have not found proof of. So you can see the Shang Dynasty was pretty big, right?
Yeah.
What
that
about
Han
the Qin Dynasty? This one.
It's isolated.
All right, it's in different spots, right?
Separated.
It is. It's separated out. Now, look, did they overlap any? Did any of them overlap?
No.
Yes.
Which one?
The Chang and the Zhou Chang.
Okay,
like,
the
changed
Zhou
over.
and the Qin, right? Okay, what about the Qin and the Han?
Yeah.
A little bit, right? Okay, but look at the Han Dynasty.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
It's huge, isn't it?
18.
Okay? So, we're going to take a look at some of those other dynasties, but the Shang is the first one that they know they have proof of. Which one's the oldest on that map?
Shang.
The Shang Dynasty. Okay? So, they call the Huanghe River Valley and the Shang Dynasty the birthplace of China's civilization. Okay? The birthplace of China's civilization. All right, let me move this back over.
Oh, it's a river.
Okay, and this is where we're going to start then for our next part B of 6.31. Good job. See you, bye.